Good morning, everybody. It's 9:15. Is it Wednesday? I can never tell. Okay, so we're carrying on our little rating climb. This is actually quite useful now. So what I'm going to do, my plan is to hijack this not speed run, and we're going to use it to develop a bit of an Indian style. Okay, so here, if I wanted to play the King's Indian, I'd play knight f6, but that's not great because they can immediately push. So we're going to start with a pick now to prevent this move. And now I think I can play knight f6. If they push, I take. If they take back, they lose castling rights because we trade queens, and I've immediately got a small edge in the game. There we go. Opponent's rated 990 here. So the king has to take, there's no other legal move. And now I need to move my knight. The question is, where am I going to move my knight? Well, the obvious places are here or here, and the reason is because we're threatening a king-rook fork. So I don't see any reason not to put it on e4. It's more central. I've got no real interest in that square right now. Okay, so now what's he going to do? He's got to defend this pawn. There's only real two ways to do it. Move the king there. Three ways to do it. Okay. Or knight h3 would have also been possible. Okay. So he's put his bishop here now. It's not the worst square for a bishop. And now I can proceed with my own ideas. I think knight c6, targeting this pawn. Why not? If it moves forward, I take with a bishop. Knight also defends a7. So my general plan is going to be to bring this bishop out and long castle, maybe even with check. Okay. So he's targeting this now. But now surely I can just take on e5, hitting the bishop and over defending f7. I don't see a problem with that. If he brings his knight out, loses his bishop. So this is my third day without any coffee. So a combination of no coffee and starting a new repertoire. I banged out a load of blitz games yesterday, playing Indian style with both, oh, that's interesting, with both white and black. Okay, so he's targeting this, but it is defended. I can actually retreat the knight here and hit this bishop. I think that might not be a bad idea. I can't go there. Can't go here. This, I don't know. But this comes with tempo, right? So I'm going to do that one. Got both my knights and dark squares now, which annoys this guy. Doesn't do anything about that guy. Okay. Right, the pawn on c7 is currently undefended, so I'm going to defend it. I'm going to capture the bishop. With defense of c7, he has to take there, fair enough. Now I can actually develop my bishop. So why not? And I'm thinking f5. One reason is the knight has a route into there. He can't take on here. And my next plan is to long castle, get my rook onto the open file, and then come in with a king kahuna threat. Moving the knight with check. Well, that doesn't work. Blunders a piece. Now it's just a piece down. Okay, there we go. Do you want a rematch? No, he declined my challenge. Oh, sorry, I missed a friend request there. Oh, but I don't do friend requests on this one. Okay, let's do another 1510. Rated 1062, and we've got now a 909. Again, we've got 1e4. So again, I'm going pick. The point is that you just have to prevent e5, and now I can do this again. This is all good. Good revision. Are you going to push ski? Not advisable, I'm sure. So what I'm thinking is that without the thing about the coffee is it gives you this, it suppresses your tiredness hormone. But I also just feel like it it raises your cortisol level, your stress hormone. So it kind of makes you on edge, a little bit like a little mouse, looking around for dangers and stuff like that, which is not a bad thing for chess. So it makes you slightly more kind of up and aggressive, and at the same time a bit more wary. But it just doesn't work for me in the long term. It just doesn't. Okay, I can fianchetto now. Still this doesn't work. I take. At least then, actually, now that he's developed his queen side, he could take with a rook. So it's not so much of an issue. So my plan here is to castle. Really, what white should be thinking about here is developing this king side, right? Leave these pawns in the centre. They're fine. Okay. Well, that's a plan of sorts. I can now develop with tempo, can I not? Bishop g4. Queen can't go on any of these squares, so therefore must go sideways or forward to here. Now, I don't think white gains anything with that, but I certainly do. Now, my bishop could get kicked back, but it is something. Also got the threat of the queen's knight coming out. c6 threatens an undefended pawn. Even if he moves the pawn, I can go in there anyway. In fact, knight c6 might have been a better move on the last move, rather than bringing my bishop out with the immediate threat. This is maybe a slightly more subtle threat. Okay. Now I guess castles, yeah? I'm happy that my e-pawn is still in place. There's going to be no pin. The knight's not pinned, is what I'm saying. Castles. This pawn is undefended, seeing as the queen's bishop is away from home. Same deal on white side. Anytime the queen's bishop comes out, you have to watch out for your b-pawn, because at the start of the game, these two pawns are defended only by their respective queen's bishops, yeah? Okay, so here we have the kick. Unsurprising. So I don't know about coming back here. It might prompt a pawn push, but I think that is actually not good for white. It does, however, inconvenience my knight. So I'm thinking about also bishop d7. Also gives it some scope up here, so let's do that move. So it seems like white's got a lot of aggression going on, but check it out. They've got two minor pieces and a queen out on the board. And the queen can be a liability early on in the game, because anytime she's attacked, it forces your hand. Now the thing I'm looking at here is this. I immediately spot the queen and king are in alignment. However, there is f4. So I don't think that's a really juicy target right now. Developing my knight. If they push here, I've got a nice central square, which is now pretty safe from pawns. Pretty safe, but then actually f4. The knight here, f4. Now I'm a bit stuck then. So I'm wondering about where my knight should be going. Let's have a look at this idea. Got to worry about my queen and the rook being lined up. So, yeah, I had a lesson with Rayon yesterday, who's I think around 1100 has got a tournament coming up. Who's saying, do I need to be working on my positional game? To which my response is probably not right now. Okay. First thing is that 1100, all the way up to 1200, 1300, but even higher, most games will be decided by blunders. You just have to wait. Keep it tight. Wait for your opponent to make a mistake. And then you strike. There's this famous saying about playing Anatoly Karpov. So playing Karpov is nothing happens and then you lose. Because he was a master at just playing very tight, very controlled, and waiting for the moment. Okay. So he's got a bishop looking at my knight, which is very well protected. So positional. What do we mean by positional? So there's a bunch of positional ideas that are different to tactical ideas. Say, for example, space is a positional idea. I'm just going to push this now. I'm thinking about building a bit of a phalanx there, a bit of a pyramid. Striking it at white centre now with this. Open files is a positional idea. Outposts is a positional idea. And all of these things will grow as you grow, as you get more experience. Right? So, and backwards pawns, interesting one. Isolated pawns, pawn structures, all kind of positional. So just think in general about putting your pieces on good squares. What is a good square? Well, it's where your pieces control as much of the board as possible, and interesting squares, not useless squares. So, for example, my attention really should be focused around this king. And now there are many routes to get to that king. And so you need to interpret that as you go along. Okay, he's developed. This is decent play. Can I strike here now? If I bring my knight out and he pushes, right? And this is just calculation. This is if this then that. I'm kind of feeling like this knight might want to retreat at some point. I don't know. If he ever pushes this, he's got super control. He's got 3 on it. Also, I don't want my queen to be exposed. My knight does have e8. At e8, it's got no forward options. So I feel like this bishop is misplaced. And that's what I'm talking about. Bad pieces. Now, no, it does have good view of the board. But for kind of reasons of my overall position, how is my position right now? I don't think I can do this. No. There takes. There takes. No, I simply lose a pawn that way. Can I just move my bishop here? Might prompt this. I can just drop back there. Let's try it. I mean, another alternative would be bishop c8, bishop b7. My dogs are ready for a walk today. So you can see, like, all my stuff here is on my first 3 ranks. So I have a space disadvantage right now, which is a bit why my pieces are starting to fall over each other. Right? White has a big space advantage. He's got empty squares behind his pieces, behind his pawns. Okay, so this is what we expected. And we're just going to drop my bishop back. So I've weirdly fianchettoed my bishop via this. Right? But, question is, am I worse? Well, I don't know right now. It's hard to tell. But my knight at least does have a nice square. My knight could come in here. Maybe. Or here. Well, this knight might use that square. So I'm playing Karpov style here. I'd like to put my bishop there. It's not the worst thing in the world if he takes and I take. And my knight does actually have quite a couple of good squares to go to. So just be thinking, good squares, bad squares, good positions. Okay, so he's developed his bishop. but he's put it in quite an awkward position. I'm thinking here about c6. If he takes, I get to improve my knight or improve my bishop. My bishop's probably fine where it is. Knights like to creep up the board. If he doesn't take, I take. So I've got 1, 2, 3 on it. He's got 1, 2, 3 as well. Or a6, b5. Starts to cramp that bishop's style a bit. Ain't nothing wrong with a6, b5. I'm not worried about this queenie coming in because she can't go to any of those squares. Is this premature? If I push c6, do I want to push c5? Let's push c6, because it kind of does both jobs. It could support b5 as well. If he takes away from the center, I think it's going to be knight takes. My knight then controls some central squares. This is just kind of very late development. So one of the main things you need to, and I mean there's a lot of kind of positional pawn considerations for sure. And there's positional piece considerations. Okay, he's taken. He's taken. Now, if I take my bishop, I'm immediately attacking this, which is defended twice. But I think knight. Everything just says knight. Yeah, so there's pawn considerations, pawn structures. Are your pawns tight? Is the rearmost pawn defended in every case? So let's look at my pawns, okay? So king defends these. Queen defends that one. And knight right now, okay? I might even play rook e8 at some point to add more defense. So my pawn structure is pretty solid. In white's case, that pawn's not defended at all. Okay? This one is twice. This one's defended only by the queen, right? Now, something being defended only by a queen could be a red flag. Okay? Very, very small one. Because queens are not great defenders. The reason is because A, queens are very mobile and have often a lot of attacking duties. But B, queens can be pushed around quite easily because they are so valuable. Alright, so you have one attacker on there, it's defended by the queen. If I take, bishop takes, I've then got a pinned pawn there. If I allow him to take, I could just build a nice little chunky fortress around my king with the option of f5 at some point, opening up my Indian bishop. Hello, that's interesting. I'm not going to push my e-pawn because again I don't want this knight to be pinned at all, especially once with it being attacked twice. So if I was to push this, knight takes, if I take, bishop takes, queen takes, it was playable. Okay, so I'm not going to push the e-pawn. Am I worried about this? Not massive. I'm going to play rook e8 like I said. Not worried about this. I could take the knight as things stand. Maybe even then bully this bishop away. Yeah. Taking the knight. Bishop takes is my concern because this bishop's undefended. Okay, well that's pretty much made up my mind, isn't it? Hang on, I've got two attackers on this pawn. I could just take out the pawn, but then that exposes my queen on the d file. I'm not doing that. I could play knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Again, that's not great. So taking the knight is an option. Taking the knight. Now if pawn takes here, I mean, first of all he has to recapture. And his queen's under attack, so he has to recapture with the bishop. There we go. Now I have 3 attackers on there, don't I? But no, this knight is not an attacker because it's pinned. The reason is because that bishop is undefended, right? Lose pieces, boys and girls. Is it time to say goodbye to this bishop? No, because he can actually take. He's got a barrage with queen and bishop. I have knight here, which defends this bishop. But I'm also thinking about just like queen c7 gets out of this pin. Or can I just push here? Attack the bishop. He can't go back there because then I have d5 and that's great. If he moves anywhere, I have d5. So if no, pin. Remember? We talked about this. Okay. Now here, if he takes the pawn, I recapture. Queen's not in danger, but his is. So queen c7. See, that's the lots and lots of factors, lots of considerations. I'm just trying to find the best overall move, and usually moves are multi-purpose. You've got defensive and attacking ideas. You've got positional ideas. Oh, I hate that. I hate that move for white, just instinctively. Because what he's just done, he had a pin on this pawn, right? Stopping this pawn from coming forward and attacking that bishop, right? And with this, my immediate thought is just push f6. It comes with tempo. Bishop has to retreat. It's not got many squares, okay? And now this bishop is forever not attacking my king. Oh, I see a tic-tac. How do you like this move? Knight b4, and that's only become possible after this, right? I've only just seen it. And when did I lose my pawn on there? Here, knight takes. Right, and now this is not good. But after knight here, I'm actually simply threatening mate. We may also find a rook. Turning upon c8. Well, he hasn't got that many choices. He's got there or there. And this one is just kind of pointless, I think. At least here it's reinstating some kind of attention at my queen, but then again, I've got a solid pawn structure now. And this guy's just way out on his own. This attacks this bishop. Now what he's got then is his only resources to bring the bishop out to c3. Right? He gets the bishop out of the attack. Having said that, the bishop is defended by the rook, so he didn't have to move it. But he does have to defend this. Oh, having said that, he does have to move the bishop because after this knight moves, this guy's looking at it as well, right? So after knight b4, bishop's attacked twice, defended only by the rook. That doesn't add up. So after this, if he can't take here thinking, oh, I'm going to threaten your rook because he gets mated, right? So he has to play his bishop back here because that's the only way to save the bishop and avoid mate. He could, for example, push this pawn, yeah? But that loses the bishop to this overwhelm. Okay, let's throw this move in. I'm also actually threatening to take on here, potentially, although it is defended by the bishop right now. So he has to find this move now. And then I've got ideas like a5, a4. And then what have you got? Now, I played that move pretty quickly. So, Rayan, in your tournament, you're not going to play any moves, at least in the opening and middle game, in less than 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Okay, he's found it. He's found it. Okay, now we reassess. Can you see how suddenly we've gone from saying black's quite cramped to white is suddenly scrabbling to defend. Okay, I've got a couple of ideas. It's got a5, a4. Bishop can't go here, we know that because it's overwhelmed, right? Bishop can't go here because the queen takes it and reinstates the checkmate threat. Okay, so that's idea number one, a5, a4. This is what I want you to do in your competition. Okay, another idea is rook a c8 or rook e c8. Maybe rook e c8. Then I'm threatening to take with a knight, hitting the queen, threatening discovered check. That's nice too. Okay, which is better? Don't know. How do we figure it out? Well, this is two moves, and it's pretty damn concerning. Here, if I get it in, he's in some trouble. Here is a one-move threat, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm simply threatening to win the pawn with tempo on the queen. So, if I do this, he has a turn to do something. He could, for example, push to hit. Hitting my knight, and just being generally annoying. If I do this and he does that, I could still push to a4 and harass the bishop. Oh, he can't take my knight because this pawn will still be pinned, right? I'm going to do this one. Now that might have been better, but I'm happy with this, especially seeing as this pawn is pinned. That was the move I'm worried about. He's attacking my knight with the a pawn. Are you really going to move that pawn? I don't believe it. a4. Take the knight. I take your bishop. You can't recapture with there. You have to recapture the queen if you're going to recapture. Then we've got an open file. I don't believe that counterattack. I'm going to call your bluff. Also, look at this bishop. The old Indian bishop. The old guru sitting there twiddling his thumbs waiting for an opportunity. Please put in the comments, Hunty, for God's sake, don't do any more Indian accents for the rest of this entire speedrun. Having said that, I've been pretty impressed. Other than this kind of middle game, little mini collapse we've got going on as well. But then, my opponent's rated 900, you know? I've been impressed. I'm somehow managing to squeeze all kinds of quality out of these low-rated opponents, man. They're playing 1450, 1300, 1500 against me. And they're not. This isn't engine assistance. Maybe it's something to do with the pace of the game. Maybe players are just getting better, I don't know. Okay, positional thing, you know, or strategic. This is an open file. I've got a major piece on it. Didn't realise it for a while, but now I do realise it. If he takes, and I've got this mad threat of rook a1 check. King has to go here. Then what's going to happen? We could trade rooks. I'd like to get this move in at the right time. And time matters. My opponent's now on 6 minutes, look. He's taken, okay. Now I'm threatening this pawn. Queen has to take. I'm not threatening the pawn, I'm threatening mate. Queen has to take this pawn. Or you push. Queen's taken. Alrighty then. Okay, now I'd love to play this, but I can't. Because rook takes, or queen takes. It's undefended on that square. So I'm going to discount that idea for now. I'm going to put that in my pocket. Okay, I always have this. Now, never just snatch at something that looks like it's an attack or it's a check, or anything like that. Right? It's all about the timing. So if I do this, this is forced, right? The king is flushed out to d2. Now what I would like to do then is to deliver another check. I don't see what this can do. I can't see if that's a bad move in any way. I'm just not sure it's the moment. I've got this as an idea. This and that means I've got bishops looking at both of these squares, which could be very interesting if queen could get involved. I just don't know how to do it. Rook e c8. This flushes king out. The rook's doing nothing there. It's defending a pawn that's unassailable anyway. No one can get to that pawn right now. He has no light squared bishop. Even just changing the idea, maybe not going for the king straight away. Maybe these pawns are the key to it all. Queen's the only defender of this. I could take out the knight, but this is pointless. Where does my bishop want to be? Well, okay. See how things change, man. They change on the board. If my bishop was here, and then my rook came here, what would happen? He can't go there or there. He still goes here. Something is telling me that my queen is just now no longer optimally placed and should find a better place to go. And notice we've got loads of time. We've got 3 minutes 40 and a 10-second increment. So I'm going to throw in this move. The move I've got to be very careful about is this pin on the queen. And that's one reason why I'd like her to move along. Also, this pawn is undefended. I'd love to attack that. Let's move this rook here. Why? This move now, you're not going to trade your rook for a bishop. If I flush the king out now, again it can't, oh it can go there. No, but then I have the check, right? Where does this queen belong? That's undefended, that's undefended, that's now defended. Where does my queen want to live? Okay, I'm going to throw this move in because I think it's a good move. And again, my king is so well protected, all thanks to my opponent's silly activities here. Should never have put his pawn there. And it seems like these are like little things, but they're not little things, because from these little things, that's where the tactics emerge. I've got ideas, maybe now queen c6, take out the knight, pawn takes, queen takes. Then my rook flies in, and the king is flushed out. Here or here, I don't know. We're going to see. Could this bishop be better? I don't know. Let's say if things stand here, he goes here. I trade. Don't know. But one thing I do know is this queen is not optimal. I could come here or here. Then after rook here, if the king goes here, I could slap my queen in there, but no, because of her. Queen here, bring my bishop back, and the queen is forced to there. Oh, queen here and in there, same problem. So it's just like a puzzle, you know, the whole thing's a puzzle. Opponent's now down under 4 minutes. He's wandered out into the board of his own volition. How about that? Okay, I'm going to play this move. I have to play quicker now. I'm on 3 minutes 20. He's on 3:49. Okay, so I do have this threat. Queen takes. The bishop's then undefended. So is this pawn. So I think his bishop's going to move there or there, right? Okay, he's moved the knight. He's attacking my bishop. I have a free pawn. I'm having it. I just had a quick check around that this knight can't do any damage there. Obviously can't go there. Knight's fine. I'm attacking this pawn. This bishop's undefended. I'd love to attack it. That was, you know, he's finding some very decent moves. Don't know why he's 909. Can't do that. Oh, I can. Does it benefit me in any way? The queen will have to trade, I think, unless king goes here to defend the queen. Huh. Wow. So if I take here, he pushes this pawn with a discovered check by the queen. Well, that's something special. Is it time to get rid of the queen? What about this? So you can see the tactic, right? If I take this bishop, he pushes here. That's a discovered check. King can't go there or there. I have to go in the corner. He comes in with a knight even with check. I have to move back here. He moves the knight to here and it wins my queen. That is super sophisticated. Now I can put my rook on d8, pinning this bishop. And that's what I'm going to start with. Bishop is undefended and cannot move. It's also under attack, therefore it must be defended. Now one way for it to defend is to move the king out of the pin. Another idea is this. Shooing the queen away, and she can only go there actually, it's her only square other than this. But then I think I can win this bishop. That, my friends, is not a 900 move. Okay, he's moved his king out of the pin. But now, I think, do I just win this? Rook takes, pushes with check again. Okay. I'm playing this move now in order to defend this and to defend this square. And I could still threaten to win the bishop. Opponent took 33 seconds over his last move. He's on 2 minutes 45. I have a check here, by the way. Always worth just scanning for checks. Check is the most forcing move on the board. Queen can't block it. Pawn can't block it because I capture with check again. King can't go here or here. So if I give check, what's he got? You can block with this pawn. Okay, I'm going to hurry the knight away. It can't actually go there, because queen takes with check. In fact, I think that's mate. Bishop blocks, pawn push. Wow, what a finish! This ending is quality, mate. Knight goes there. I'm unconcerned. Probably queen flies in. And that is checkmate. Yeah? You attack my rook, you get mated. Because the king can't go there or there because of the rook, can't go there, can't go there because of the bishop. That is the threat. And why is white in this position? This is the story of the game, right? This is what you have to... Once you can work backwards and tell the story of the game, you will understand why what on earth? If I take, I can just take the knight, threaten the bishop, I can take the rook. Let's take the knight, because that allows my queen to come in, and that is super threatening. 57 seconds he took over that one. He's got 1 minute 39 left. I threaten this. Yeah. So, and that is again mate, by the way. If he takes here, rook takes. Oh. Completely missed that. Completely missed that. And what a blunder. Okay, I'll take the rook with the bishop. Oh, man. That again, that was not a beginner move either. I do apologise. I was in the middle of telling an interesting story about reading chess games. Okay. Right, so game on. Yeah, I can. That's a check, but bishop guards. Right, we're now blitzing, guys, I'm afraid. Here, rook h8, target this pawn. Oh, man, you're kidding me. You trapped my rook? Now, in a position like this, in a normal blitz game without an increment, I would probably win on time. With ease. We'll take fork. So I'm attacking this, it's defended once. Okay. And he's defended it. And he's attacking my rook. That would be a fork on king and queen. I have this. He wants to bring his queen into here and attack. I could take it out, but this is more forcing. Actually, no, I can still stop it on c8. Opponent's now making all his moves very quickly. Okay. I attack the rook. Now this I think is still winning, actually, for white. If the rook moves, so he does this, I take the rook out. He promotes, I go here. There you have to give up one of your queens. My king now has the f6 square. And I have decent bishop defense, actually. I'm actually only -2 materials here. I really want to take out this pawn. One check. No, this is now not winnable, I'm sure of it. So after playing very badly and taking a lot of time to do it, my opponent is now wiping the floor with me and using very little time to do it. So I confess I am smelling a rat. Okay. Oh, it's targeted the pawn. No. I'm sorry. I'm not convinced by that. I'm going to pull in the. So yeah, I mean, part of it is my own issue of starting to relax and starting to talk too much at the end of the game. But let's go to the analysis board. Okay, let's have a look at the review. Okay, so here, completely winning. Best move. And that was just a miss. I should just have played take the rook. Yeah. I just missed that, and it all changed then. There was, having said that, an issue there. Why? Okay, so because he could have forked the bishops at that point, and actually we're in a drawing position. So yeah, this is the issue that I missed, which is the lack of, is the alignment issue, and I should have picked up on that. But yeah, so from here I should have just defended this with the bishop. No, because he has that. Bishop f6 was best. Okay, yeah, two ways to defend the same pawn, right? So yeah, here and we're okay, but let's look at the best moves difference here. Then I played a series of very bad moves. I don't know. I just don't know. He played like an 11. He played like a 1300, and I played like an 1150. Wow. Okay, well, it didn't feel like that to me. But anyway, what do you think? Answers on a postcard. I know it's worth going through. It's worth going through. Let's have a look from the start. Take off the graph. Yeah, that was a mistake. Just bringing my bishop out too early. Didn't actually achieve anything. And then it doesn't like castles. No, it shouldn't have castled there. e5. See, no. That's a mistake. Should have pushed it all the way to b5, apparently. I actually thought I was doing absolutely fine here. Computer disagrees. It didn't like this. And it still likes white. I'm looking for this pawn move here as well. Okay, inaccuracy. I thought that was a game changer myself. Okay, and now you see this move is just so obvious. Now black is better. Right, now we go in. He had to do that. a5 is best, good. a4, excellent, the only good move on the board. Great. And now we are in a very good position. Oh, it wanted me to push f6 to f5 here. Okay, now I do it and it disapproves now. It says you should have swapped up. Oh, fish, you kill me. Again, inaccurate. Inaccurate. Bishop c6. Oh. The idea of this, skewering the queen on the rook. Missed it. Mistake. Yeah, we talked about this move. Bringing the bishop back here, supported by the queen, forcing their queen to that square. So he's playing very questionable moves, and now I'm absolutely crushing. Said I should have taken the knight. And this is the best move, and that was just my blunder. Right? So again, I got myself into a winning position, and kind of blew it. And I could have actually saved it a little bit if I concentrated better in the end game, but there you go. Look, fun and games. At least we're not climbing up too quickly up the rating ladder. But I hope that you got some pointers out of that, because I thought it was a very, very instructive game. I thought it was a much better game than the computer did in accuracy in the 60s, but 1150 for me. Not fantastic. But my opponent, considering he was rated, what, 911, something like that, 910, played surprisingly well. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.